All right, so a little overview here of the Boss GT1, which is a bass effects processor. I have been using, when I play bass, a collection of pedals that kind of got bigger and bigger, and I just decided to try one of the modeling pedals. I've been doing this on guitar for like a decade. I guess I'm a holdout on the bass. So I got the Boss GT-1B a couple of months back. Been jamming with some various bands, playing bass with them, so it's all dedicated to bass. I thought I would run through some of the things that I've modified, what I found worked for the GT-1B for me. I am using a passive bass. This is an Alvarez bass. It's got, it's like a P bass pickup. Nothing special here. No active electronics. What I'm playing right now is one of the presets that comes with it, but I went and modified it to meet my needs. It's called Mild Tube. It's got a little overdrive in there. I'm kind of switching between pick and finger here when I'm playing bass. This is kind of my default one that I go to when I'm playing bass, and then I add in effects as needed, but this is kind of my bassline patch that I always use when I'm starting out with a group of folks to figure out what they need. So anyway, great preset. Just adjust it for yours. The main thing I would say about the GT-1B is that in the interface that you use on a PC, make sure you're monitoring the input and output levels. It's very easy to overdrive this, particularly if you don't know about where to adjust that, particularly if you have an active EQ bass or some sort of pedal in front. So make sure you got that input correct, because if you don't get your gain staging right for bass, it's a mess after that. So back to this patch here. So I've got this set to cut on a compressor with the third one over, which is really helpful, and I'm going to play with a pick now so you hear the difference. So I'm going between all four strings. You know, the volume there is pretty regular. I'll do it without it so you hear the difference. So you can hear that the lowest E string is considerably louder. I tend to play this and control the volume with the pick or the finger. But if I really need to control it and make sure that the volume's kind of the same between the various strings, I found punching in that compressor really helps. All right, so that's one patch. I'll just run through a couple. This is I'm not going to show everything on the GT-1B, just some of the ones that really work well for me. The next one I'm going to go to is an Overdrive one. So I started with the patch called Garage Rock and modified a little bit for my bass and the tone that I needed. The folks I was jamming with, we were doing Cars by Gary Newman. The synth player was doing some of the upper parts, but didn't have the lower parts there. So I'll play it, and then we'll do it without distortion, so you can hear the difference. So that really sits well in a mix, particularly with the bass going with the synth. So you get the lower end, and you can hear how this effects device, you can take the distortion and mix it in with the clean bass. So unlike like sticking a full distortion pedal on your bass rig, you can dial in how much of that distortion comes in your signal path. So going back, here's what it sounds like without the distortion. So it's there, the bass is there, but there's not that overdriven grit. So I really like the Garage Rock and how I modified it for my bass. for the cars and just getting that kind of, really distorted sound along with it. That's one that works well. And let's cover some of the synth features that you got with the GT-1B. I found those really interesting and cool for doing things. So this is one I found on the Boss. If you go to the Boss website, they have some patches you can download from other artists. I took some of those and then modified them a little bit. So this is a song called "Tainted Love," and again, I'm supporting the keyboard player. It's a really synth heavy song. The group of folks I was jamming with doing this, the synth player was doing some basic stuff, maybe not all of it. So trying to support him with the. So you can hear the filter. There's a LFO going, kind of doing that opening of the filter. And this really sits well in the mix with the full band with the bass to it. And again, you hear the bass frequencies. They're there, but then there's this filter over top of it kind of oscillating through, which is really, really cool for that song. And the Boss GT-1B is great for that. I like this. I played this one with a pick. That way I can control how much the filter opens based on how loud you are. So if you go, not like one on there but if I hit it with a pick. And the tracking's really important. So you got to hit the note, pretty clear, and can't have other notes ringing. So your picking is really important, at least with the GT-1B, to get that. So you hear how that works. That's Tainted Love, great patch for that one. I really like it. That was a lot more complicated with all my individual pedals. I know there are synth pedals. I actually have a Digitech synth wah, and it's great for that too. But the amount of foot stomping you have to do to get different sounds, this is all in one patch. You press a button and you're there. It's very useful. I really like this for bass. Let me do another one. This is a song by NXS. It's called "Never Tear Us Apart," and again, trying to support the synth player in the band as he was doing stuff. So I added some more synth on top of it. This is extremely thick, fills up a lot of space. It's a bass with a synth part that's built a couple of octaves over. Let me play it for you so you understand. So you can hear the synth kind of taking over there. Let's see. So we'll do the chord progression, and so you can hear the. Probably be killer on a fretless bass, but when you hear kind of the strings go over top of it, really a great, sits well in the mix, really fills out a lot of space, and again, this is pretty awesome. I like the synth stuff on the GT-1B. That's the kind of thing I really like. That's a fifth. And I know you bass players out here are hearing the kind of do that Geddy Lee Rush thing. It's a great patch for that too. I started with let's see, what was this called originally? Synth Lead, and I've modified it a bit for my bass to get the sound that I want. But that's another great highlight of this effects device. It's great for that kind of stuff. And I've been playing around with some of the compression on it. So this is a patch I did called Compressor Only. I go in here, and this is where I've been learning how the various compressors and limiters work. That's where I think this thing shines the most. The GT-1B is all the compression features that you can get for bass. As a bass player, you probably should be in love with various types of compression. If you've only got like one or two compressor pedals, you're missing out. So the GT-1B is great for that. There's a lot of compression options. So that's one, and I go through this patch itself and use it to switch between the different compressors. It doesn't have any other effects on, so it allows me to kind of isolate, okay, how does that compressor sound? What does it do when I hit it hard? What happens when I do it softly? How can I even things out? So it's a great experimental thing. I would encourage you, if you got the GT-1B, to make a patch like that is not meant for stage use. It's for you to understand how the different effects sound. And because there's so many compressors, that's a great one to have. And I'll play one last patch that I use all the time. So this is my slap bass. And again, you have to modify every patch that you get to meet the level and sound of your bass. You can't just pull this out of the box and use all these patches. They could use some tweaking. So this patch, my slapping patch, has a bunch of compression on it. So you can hear the limiter kidding in there. So there's not a lot of, I guess you can hit it lighter, but the limiter is definitely grabbing it. And without compression, that would be really loud when I'm hitting that, or pulling that, I guess. Anyway, great effects device. I probably need to start selling all my bass pedals on reverb because I'm not going back. It's a great unit. It doesn't sound digital. I find that once I tweak it for my bass, I get a very natural sound. I don't use an amp. I'm going right into the board. Sometimes I'll bring a powered speaker, like a 15-inch with a horn, 400 watts, something like that, if I need a little bit more punch on stage so the drummer can hear me or whatever like that. But I pretty much go direct, and this gives me the sound that I need. So highly recommend it. I will mention one thing that is interesting about this effects device. It's awesome for sure, but I don't know if you see right here, this only has 1/4-inch outs right here. So you will need a direct box if you're going to use this into a PA system. And you can see mine right here. I've got an Art right there. I've also got a couple of other DI boxes that have Jensen transformers in them. Check out one of my other videos. It makes a huge difference based on what transformer you got in your DI box. Don't run out and get the $20 DI box. It will mess with your sound. So with this unit, the GT-1B, you will need to invest in a good DI box to get into your PA system. And what that does is convert that 1/4 inch into an XLR out to the PA. So anyway, that is my summary, the things I really like about my GT-1B. I will continue to use this for bass. Totally positive. Love the thing. It requires a little time to understand how the settings work and everything. Highly recommend the PC interface to connect it by USB and modify it on your PC so you don't have to scroll through all the little menus that are on this little screen right here. So definitely get that. But that's it. Talk to you folks later.